bit. So in the process of growing over the years, in the process of trying to figure this shit out, there was a reoccurring theme that kept coming up when people would ask, "Hey, bro, I'm still trying to figure this out. Hey, bro, I got this going on, at my, I got this going on at my job. How do I handle this situation? Hey, bro, I got this going on with my baby mama, with my wife. How do I handle this situation? Hey, bro, my family is doing this." And the recurring theme in my own life, and the people that I know who've been able to reach a certain level of success, is all of them had one thing in common, and it's called willfully suffering, like being willing to suffer, going out and doing difficult shit on purpose, going into difficult situations on purpose. And I'm not talking about difficult situations that don't serve your bigger picture. I'm not talking about, doing difficult shit just for the sake of doing it. I'm talking about going into doing difficult things on purpose. I'll give you an example. So even if you look at going to college, I'm a tradesman. I ended up going to college later on, didn't finish and get my degree, but I initially went to trade school for 2 years because I already knew I wanted to work with my hands. I was a single father at the time. I was like, I need to make some money right now. I really don't have time to be playing with these books. I need to get in and learn as much as possible and then get into the industry that I'm in, which eventually came back to industrial maintenance before I moved into leadership like what I do now. But the same recurring theme is willing to do difficult shit, or as me and one of my mentors who were having a conversation, we talked about going out and having fun doing difficult shit, right? Making it fun to do difficult stuff as it relates to our livelihood. It's how we take care of ourselves. It's how we pay our bills, how we take care of our children, how we take care of our families, how we make some investments. And for you, it may be, for a lot of you all, it may be a lot of the same thing. But the recurring theme is that difficulty. Where it relates to when we talk about being in relationships and stuff like that, bro, I could be happily married. I could be deathly in love with my wife, a girlfriend, whatever the case may be. And if she does something that I deem is serious enough for the relationship to be over or the relationship to end, I already know what it feels like to be in pain. I already know what it feels like to be in a difficult situation. I already know what it feels like to be isolated. I already know what it feels like not to get the phone calls or the text messages from the people that are close to you. I already know what it feels like to sit in a space without any kind of stimulation. I already know what it feels like to completely pull away from social media. I know what it feels like to completely put my phone on ignore or airplane mode or whatever I need to really get isolated and drill down to the person that I am, to the man that I am. And in that pain and in that darkness and in that suffrage, I know that there is something greater and there is something, there's a deeper meaning, there's a deeper purpose that comes out of that. But it's because I've done it so much over the years in the spirit of trying to get to this next level. To a certain extent, I'm still doing it right now. Where I live right now, this is not my original, this is not where I'm from, bro. There's no family and friends and stuff like that out here. I do have one good buddy out here, man, one good brother out here who actually used to be my boss, but for the most part, I don't have any stimulation out here like that. But this is a part of my, I don't want to use the I don't want to use the wrong term, but this is a part of my suffering. And to some, they could be like, oh man, that's not suffering. That's, to me, it's suffering, bro, because you work to get to a certain level. Once you get there and you're comfortable, you're like, oh shit, well, the next step is completely get out of your comfort zone and do this next thing that has the ability to prepare you to whatever your next level is. My next level may not be the same as somebody else's, but my understanding of life and my understanding of the way that I've moved through life and my understanding of the mistakes that I've made, my understanding of the reason why I made those mistakes. I found all of that in that isolation, in those dark places, in the space that a lot of people are afraid to go to. Some people end up there, but I'm talking about the willfully going there, willfully staying there and figuring out, man, what is it that I'm gonna get out of this? because it's deathly uncomfortable. And there's nobody there to really share that with you. You would be lucky to have someone who understands and can operate in that space with you and support you in a way that helps you come out of it. But for us brothers, for us men, I think it's important to go there alone. If you have a significant other that goes down there with you, then hey, bro, you are lucky, and that is far and few in between. For most men, bro, that's not the case. I know married brothers and brothers that are in relationships that have gone to that place, and they do it in their basements. They do it inside of their cars while sitting in the driveway. They do it in the parking lot after they get off work, sitting in the car, thinking about what is this next step? How am I going to gear myself up? How am I going to form my mind in a way that is going to help me get out here and be productive? And sometimes it hurts, bro. Sometimes it sucks. I told a story, man. I went home when I first moved out here. I went home, and the smell of the air was clear. My lawn and my neighbors' lawns were popping. The grass was green. The sun was setting just behind the skyline of my neighborhood. The sun was setting, and you could barely see the sun, and the sky behind it had like a pinkish yellow hue to it. The Texas sun, Texas sky, sun was setting. And the way that my house is oriented, the sun sets right down in my office window, man. And I'm out there in the front yard. Like I said, the grass is green, the sidewalks are clean. My truck was clean. I had cleaned and washed up my truck. I had worked on a project. And I'm sitting there in the driveway, and I was waiting on an Uber. I was waiting on an Uber to get ready to come back to a completely different part of the country, bro. And the feeling of sadness that I had, bro, the feeling of just despair. I don't know where it came from per se. I got an idea, but just a feeling of despair to work for years to have this exact setup. And granted, I'm not a rich guy, bro. Like, I'm a working class guy, but to have that setup, something that I never thought, being a kid from the projects, bro, little kid from the hood, I never thought I would be able to have that view that I had of my home and my neighborhood. Worked pretty much my whole life to try and get there, and to get it, and then to give it up on purpose to work on this next level, bro. So I'm waiting there in the front yard. Like I said, the grass is clean, the birds are chirping right, kids are running around playing. It's late in the evening, and it's on a Sunday. And I'm getting ready to go into DFW to catch the last flight out of Dallas. And I'm waiting on my Uber. And the Uber pulls up, and by this time it's getting a little dark. And the despair is heavy, bro. The despair is just there. It's weighing on me. And I'm not even one of those type of people that get emotional like that and shit. I'm very, very logical. Emotion didn't help me get to where I am or to accomplish any of the things that I've accomplished. So I'm not somebody who's really emotional. But I'm in the Uber, and we're going to the airport, which is probably like an hour drive away from my house. We're going to the airport, and like I said, the despair is weighing on me. The sadness is weighing on me. The thinking about, my family and friends, my children, even though they're adults, my children are here. And tears, bro. I'm in the car just, now I'm not boo-hooing. I'm not reaching up, grabbing the driver. Hey, bro, I'm sad. It's not that. It's the gravity of it all. Because I was still pretty early on into this transition. But what I can tell you, about a year and a half has passed since then. And I've made that same trip. I've made that same rite of passage. I've made that same... I've taken that same route more than a few times, and each time I did it, it got a little bit easier. I have videos that I recorded during that time that I never posted, but I did it more and more, and it got a little bit more easy. And the second time, it wasn't as hard. And the third time, it wasn't as hard. And then I wasn't going back home as often. And then I didn't go home for weeks. And then I didn't go home for months. I say all of that to say that you got to embrace the darkness, bro. You got to embrace the darkness. Be careful because you don't want it to change the chemical makeup of who you are. You can easily become a bitter person, but you have to embrace the dark. You have to embrace the darkness. This message is really for the brothers, for the men. For the women, my humble opinion, I don't think you're wired for it like that, because when I talk about darkness, I'm talking about nobody's calling to check on you. You're not calling to check on nobody. You go to a very dark place. And the importance of it for men is, bro, at any given time, if she breaks bad, bro, you have to be willing to go there, to that place. And maybe you need to cry and all the other kind of shit, and that's cool, right? You get in the room, you go on a long ride, and you do whatever you need to do, but you have to go to that place that you just cannot let it consume you. But you have to be familiar with what it looks like to actually fucking suffer, bro. To suffer, to be uncomfortable, to be miserable for an extended period of time, and then come out of that, take the lessons from that, and still be a productive member of society, still be a productive brother, still be somebody who is useful to the group. That's my message for today, bro. Questions, comments, or concerns, drop them down in the comments. I hope that you brothers are doing the work, keeping your head on the swivel, keeping your powder dry. That's all I got for y'all today. Y'all be good. Bet.